Hello.
Hello, and welcome to the Knit Girls. I'm looking for an episode number 572. There we go. I can read.
And who are you?
I'm Laura, sometimes known as Lala.
I am Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. Today is the 30th of April, 2022.
Yes, April went fast, y'all.
This whole year is going fast. Laura and I both use the she, her pronouns. And it's been like a week and a half since we recorded.
It has been, because I was out of town.
Yeah, I've got a fair amount done, and I feel like you've got a fair amount done as well.
Maybe.
So do you want to...
I can go first, because I'm just knitting away on some socks. I am knitting on some Knit Spins farm socks. This is not a base that she currently carries. It was one that she sent me to try out. It's a merino sport weight. In the Zinnia Warrior Princess colorway, and I'm knitting these on size 1 Addy squared. And let me show you what they look like.
So this is number 2, right?
This is number 2. So here is number 2, and here is number 1. And I actually really messed up on the ribbing. I was going to start the ribbing at the start of this yellow, and then, which it is now, and then got to the pink from knitting and was like, oh, I never started the ribbing, and one row of ribbing is not going to cut it. So I dropped down every other stitch and made it into pearls.
So you dropped down, then picked it up on the other side to...
I pick up on the same side. I just...
Oh, so
make it into
it's
a
much
pearl.
faster for me if I just pick it up from the knit side, but
Gotcha.
Whatever works.
Yep, so first sock is done, second sock is to like this point. So quite a bit still to go. I am I'm hall monitoring state testing on Monday, so I might be able to get a good bit done. This was from hall monitoring on Friday. Because it was like a 75-minute test, and I had to take kids to the bathroom and do things in regards to testing. So yeah, that is the first thing on my needles. I was kind of hoping I'd get it done today, which is ridiculous, but I wanted to have a finished pair of socks in April. So I did finish a pair of socks early on in April.
You finished a hand-spun sweater.
I did.
You finished a huge chunk for your next hand-spun sweater.
A good bit. I'll show that now. Hey, Buffy. Buffy's wandering around.
She's pacing. She does this.
So I did start last Wednesday night. I swatched for Cloud Cover from Heidi Kiermaier. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm in the middle of a row, so you really can't see it.
You always do that. Somehow, you always stop in the middle of the row.
So I am knitting this out of handspun. Back in 2019, I found some different colorways of Hello Yarn, and all of them had something to do with like dragon or...
Was that 2019?
Yeah, okay. So I purchased them back in 2014.
But, I remember you sorting them and, taking pictures of the colors and everything.
Yep, so I went back, and I actually went back and just screenshot that of the colors. So we can put that in magically here, I suppose.
Okay.
I'm making Leslie do work. Or you can find it on my Instagram. But I took 6 bags. 2 were the same, and I think I did that was twice. So wrestling scales was one of them. And then I had some other colorways like the burrows and a couple others. And I divided them into halves and then spun those halves and then plied them all. And that came out with 2
big old honking cakes.
Big cakes that look like this, that are around 800 yards each, I think. Because I've knit quite a bit into this one, which I would love to show you. The other thing that I did was I was originally knitting this on signatures, but the cords were a little bit too flexible for the weight of the sweater, because sweaters do weigh a lot. Oh, and I 3-plied these. So they are a true 3-ply. So there is a lot of marling going on. And it's like a sport weight. So I cast on for cloud cover and with the signatures. And then when I was in Kansas City, I went to Yarn Social to visit my friend Caleb because he's amazing. And I looked at the new Licca coppers, but they are $150. And I didn't want to just randomly buy a $150 needle set.
And these are needle sets, yeah, interchangeable needle set.
But they do come with a new cord, which is like a swivel cord. And they did have individual swivel cords for sale. So I bought some swivel cords and some size 4 tips because that's what I'm knitting this on. And I'm trying out the swivel cords, and I am definitely not going to get to the end of this row by the time I end this story. But, so I'm trying out some new cords. I really enjoy them. I like the Licca needles. This is just the driftwood tips. One of our viewers, Dory, did say that the coppers are a little bit dull.
A little blunt on the end.
Yeah. Which I like when I have something, a fiber that is splitty or a yarn that is low twist and a little bit more splitty. High twist yarns tend to stick together pretty well, but low twist sometimes not. So yeah, I have another cake to do, but I am past the sleeve divide. I got around 16 hours of knitting time, although I did not take advantage of all of that on the way to fly away and back. I talked to my mom a good bit, and I played Wordle, but I didn't really play any other games. I haven't played Wordle today. I need to do that. But yeah, I got a good bit done, I felt like. I would say this is probably 400 yards or so.
So is there any other works in progress, or are you dedicated to getting to the end of that?
No, I have the handspun shawl out of Kumasi, the Out of Winter shawl by Tammy Gore, but I haven't really worked on it. So it's just been these two things primarily. I was traveling, so I didn't take a lot of stuff with me.
Okay, well I can show mine, and then maybe we can get to the end of your row.
Yes, let's do it.
So I'm working on a couple things. One of them is a pair of socks from Knit Spin Farm on her no longer available Tardy base.
We're a little bit bitter about that, and it's not her fault. It's the mill.
The mill's fault.
Has determined that it is not a good use of their time, energy, and money.
Which is just insanity, but you know, whatever. So this colorway is called Coloring Book Day, and I finished sock number 1. I did a traditional slip stitch heel flap with a gusset, and I'm happy with it. It fits me perfectly.
Yay.
And just started the second one earlier today so that I would have something to work on while we recorded, because my other project is brioche, and there's been a little bit of drama with that one. So it's called Airedale. Patterns right here, and it's by Emily Williams. Yep. And let's see if I can, if there's a better picture of it. Nope. So it's a brioche shawl, and it can be either a single color or 2 colors. I chose to make it out of a single color, and the single color is only written for 2 full pattern repeats, and the number of stitches at the beginning of each pattern repeat changes, like before you get into the
meat and potatoes of it.
Right, the lace repeat, the like setup stitches at the beginning of each row changes. So it's not written out for pattern repeat 3 or pattern repeat 4. So I've had to sort of read the knitting and figure out where the stitches are going to end up and work backwards from there. This has not gone great. So this is what I've got left, and this is ball number 2. So I'm close to the end of it.
Yeah.
But I'm very confident I can get the rest of the repeat that I'm currently in out of this, as well as enough for the bind off. So the problem is, oh, I must have started this. Oh no, I didn't. Okay, good. The problem is that I realized about an hour ago that I messed up a row 4 rows down.
Oh no!
So that means I have to drop it, which is fine, but I just didn't have time to do it before we recorded. But
it's looking gorgeous so far. Can I give you a hand, friend?
Yeah, so this is what it looks like. And I've added, I think it only went to about here in the pattern, and so I've added all of this just by sort of using logic and the lace repeat. So I've got to go down to here, so it's about, well, with brioche, everything's double, so it's about 8 rows down, which I don't mind doing. It's annoying because this is a single ply, so I don't want to have too much friction on it.
Yeah, you don't want to split it or anything.
So it's fine. I'll do it later. I'll
Is it fine though?
And fix it. Is it fine? I mean, but yeah. So this is Wandering Flock, and it is her superwash merino. Although I don't understand how single ply is superwash. In Cosmic Tie Dye. This is the company name.
I mean, technically, you can make a single ply out of anything.
Yeah, I just don't see this as like. To me, superwash has the ability to withstand some amount of friction.
Yeah.
And I don't see a single ply as doing that. But it's fine. I didn't make this with the intent of it being a hard wearing like.
Yeah.
Thing.
It's a shawl. It's not a pair of
it's gonna
socks.
go around your neck. So. Yeah, so I'm happy with it. I'm just annoyed that I have to tink back, but it's fine. You know.
Is it fine?
Took that risk. I'm going to start pointing out all the shit that you repeat, and it's going to get real annoying real fast.
You do.
That's it. That's all I'm working on.
Do you want to see my sweater?
Nope.
Okay.
But they probably do.
Maybe other people do. So this is Cloud Chaser, and this is the back. And it's just a top-down raglan, and then it has a huge neckband that'll get picked up. So the front looks really small, but the back is definitely wide enough. I am playing with gauge on it a little bit. So my gauge is a little bit bigger than what the pattern calls for, but I like it. And it's already on size 4 needles, and I don't feel like knitting it on 3s, so I am doing one size smaller than what I typically would choose. So yeah, there you go. That is what I have nothing finished, but you finished some stuff, did you?
I finished some sewing. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Now Leslie's irritated with me.
It's okay, don't worry. I'm going to pick apart all of your little
yes
verbal flaws as well.
We'll do it later.
So I finished some sewing related things. The first was I actually finished the sewing on this a while back, but I didn't put buttons on it because I was lazy. It's got cat hair and stuff all over it because I was working on it downstairs, and any soft surface, regardless of how many cat beds we have, any soft surface becomes a bed for the cats.
I mean, that's what cats do, right?
So, it's a flannel shirt. I mean, there's nothing fancy. Oh, I actually forgot I need to go back and fix that one little thing. But I put snaps
Look at you!
on them.
That's very sexy.
They were really a pain in the butt because you have to hand sew on each part of it. But I put it on the cuffs as well.
Is this for you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Just like a, light jacket for when we have
weather. That is cool. Oh, I got Michael something from
like
Fly
pit
Away
fires
too. I'll have to look for it
outside. But yeah, so this needs to be washed and dry. But there's one little spot on the shoulder where I didn't quite catch the fabric in the seam, so I need to fix that before I do that. So this is the Ramona shacket, and it was part of the. I do a monthly sewing kit thing called Indie Stitch, and it gives you the ability to skip months if you don't like the pattern or you're not interested in whatever.
I got that for your husband.
That is accurate. When tornadoes are imminent, Michael shoves Kobe and I.
I think that was from 316 something. It was a number booth. But they had they were Kansas based.
Oh, okay.
And so they had a lot of tornado
He'll
based
appreciate
things.
that.
I thought he would.
Michael must be asleep. That's why Neelix is crying like he's being tortured.
And Buffy's just like in here with us chilling.
Yep, she's happy. So, I talked about this before, but I said that I would show you guys how this worked. Did I put this on backwards? I absolutely did. That doesn't surprise me at all. So one of the things that I sew for myself is oh, I put this in backwards. That's why. It doesn't look right. It goes like this. So I talked about making CPAP mask covers. CPAP is continuous positive air pressure, I think. And it's a machine that you can use if you have sleep apnea, which is essentially you stop breathing in your sleep. And I do have sleep apnea, pretty significant sleep apnea. And where's the thing? Oh, I'm missing the little things that clip. That's why. All right, so it won't be perfect, but so this is the masks that I make, or the covers for the masks that I make. And I just have like a little cardboard thing that I cut the shape out of that I use as a template. And there's nothing very special about it except...
It's left over from your octopus shirt, right?
Yep. Except I do put darts in it. Although with this being jersey fabric, you could probably get away without darts because it'll stretch. It'll, give you that.
It's knit fabric instead of woven fabric.
Mm-hmm. And I very professionally cut holes that go over your nose and your mouth and put snaps on, and it's just double-sided, so I can use one side, Monday night and flip it around and use the other side Tuesday night. And the idea is because the mask itself is like a silicone or rubber. I don't know the difference, but it's a rubbery feel, and that's good for creating a seal on your face for the air, but it doesn't let your face breathe really well, so you can be prone to breakouts, and it just doesn't feel good on your face. So I created these. I'm not the first person that made them. I just sort of copied somebody else that did, and I snapped them around the front like that. And then I don't have the little clips that clip to the bottom of the mask on this because I had just washed this set, but it sits like this. Nose goes on top, mouth goes in the little hole.
Look at you.
And I made them out of a knit fabric so I can just throw them in with my regular laundry. And I think I've got around 10 or so. I probably will make more because it's a good project for when I'm working. I can spend 5 minutes cutting out fabric. And
it's also a good way to use up scraps.
Yeah. And then 5 minutes like serging around the edges, and then like 5 minutes putting on snaps. As I have time during the day, it's a good way to use that time. So I don't have this as a pattern. There might be people on Etsy who sell the patterns themselves. I haven't looked in a while. But if you have any sewing skill, you could buy one from an Etsy seller and then sort of deconstruct it for your own purposes. I do not recommend doing that and then selling it, because that's intellectual property that you're then making a profit off of. But for my purposes, I bought a single one from an Etsy seller and then I duplicated it for my own purposes.
For your own use.
For my own use, yes. I'm not profiting off of it. I'm not selling it. It's just for me. So, I've also sewed some other items.
What else did you sew?
If the CPAP mask didn't turn you on, this will. So
I cannot wait.
There's a company called Stitch Upon a Time, and I've been buying their patterns for years. The Versa cami, the one that's got a built-in shelf bra, is
that
from
you
them.
Love.
So they have a pattern called Scrundlewear, which is just, it's underwear, but it's got all the different cuts in it. You can do briefs or boy shorts or a thong or whatever. I like the full coverage granny panty version. So I have some wicking knit fabrics. I made some
look
underpants.
at your little citrusy underpants.
I will say it took me several times to get the tension on the elastic around the legs right. And I may be of the opinion that it's just cheaper to buy it than it is to make it for me. I don't know. I'm going to make a couple more pairs and see if I can get any better at it. But, yeah, so
You can't go off of your first time doing something.
Look at how big that is.
Whatever.
I don't care. So I made those. I just used fold over elastic for the
Top part?
the top and on the legs. And then I made a Versa
Oh,
cami.
look how cute that is. I like that. It's very giving me Monet vibes.
Yeah. And so this has got, I do modify them and put power mesh in the front of the shelf bra. The back part of it, I just use the regular knit fabric that I would use for the pattern. And I did actually go for the adjustable strap option on this one, so I've got little, like,
You're so fancy.
sliders on this. And because I already had this fabric out, I made a pair of matching underpants
Aww.
out of them.
Look out, Victoria's Secrets.
Yeah. Victoria's Secret for fat ladies.
No. It's cute. I like the little picot
Yeah.
detail on the...
The picot is actually easier to put on than the fold over elastic, so yeah, so I'm happy with it. This one went together a little faster than the other pair did. I haven't actually worn them because I wanted them to be perfectly, you know, new and everything before I show them to you guys. So I'll let you know how and if they fit, and make some adjustments from there. But yeah, so I've got the another Versa cami cut out, but I ran out of the fold over 1-inch fold over elastic. Most of the fold over elastic that you see for like hair ties or that you can buy in the store is 5/8, and that's kind of narrow to be used for straps. So I need 1-inch, and Joann's is out of it, so I had to order it online. So the other one's not finished,
But it will be soon.
it will be, yeah.
What color did you do the other one out of?
Just a black floral jersey
Nice.
that I'd had.
Using up stash, too.
Yeah, because, you know, I've got too much stuff in this room for things to even fit. So, trying to use what I can, and I've got fabric and the pattern cut, no, it's not cut out or put together yet, but I need to assemble the paper pattern for the Charlie caftan, which is just a loose, like, dress with a little bit of gather in the front that Sarah Lumen was wearing at the last SSK, and I really liked it.
How fun.
So
You're going to have a handmade wardrobe for SSK.
maybe. We'll see.
I'm going to have an overall wardrobe for SSK.
Yes, you will.
They came out with 5 new colors today.
Every day more crazy than the last. So, you have a bunch of spinning though, right?
Nope. I have, no. Still on the bobbins means that it's not here.
It says Laura finished the
I
first...
did finish that.
That's
Hold
a
on.
lot of spinning, dude. That's 10.5 ounces of spinning.
But it's just flying.
I mean, it may not be a lot as in variation, but...
So, for the past year, I think I started this right before Stash Dash last year. At least I did the sample. I took a class with Jillian. It might have been her yarn architecture. I can't remember now. It was a several-day class that was available on Stitches. And I decided I was going to spin for a sweater, so I pulled out 2 of my, 1.5 of patchwork kits from Hello Yarn. And I spun over the course of last year all the singles. This went with me on our trip to hang out with some friends back in October. And I spun a lot of it there, and I am finally getting around to applying it. So mainly because I wanted to knit another hand spun sweater, and now I'm out of hand spun to knit sweaters out of.
At least all of one colorway, or like one.
Intentionally spun
Right.
for sweaters, because the dragon was like the one that I was holding in reserve. And I originally was going to knit the thing that we saw on what is that? Portage,
Yeah, Kelly.
but I decided to go with Cloud Chaser instead. And this is intended for Flex Light. So I'd actually sampled for this and then knit my sample up into a hat last year during Stash Dash. So 1 year later, I might actually get this finished. This
I
is
mean,
around...
that's not that long. It's I'm happy with that. I would take that.
So this is 10.5 ounces. I have a total of around 20 ounces to ply, so I'm at the halfway point. This is around 1,000 yards of a fingering weight. I did not do a lot of twist on the ply because I did want some drape, and the more twist you add, the less drape you have.
Mm-hmm. The more rigid your yarn
Yeah.
can be.
So it is a giant skein, so I won't have to switch skeins very often. But yeah, as I was playing it, I was like, I don't know if I'm happy with how these are lining up, but as a whole, I think it looks good.
Yeah, if you wanted the colors to match perfectly, you can buy commercial yarn.
Exactly. And I could have bought all the same color.
Yeah.
Instead of doing the patchwork kits are like little bits and pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So I have another 3 bobbins or so to play, and I had rewound these singles as well. So yeah, it's as big as my head.
It is. It's lovely.
It got washed in the Volmiza wool wash. So yeah, that is all that I've finished. I did start something new, which was the hip string superwash targhee and Magically Delicious that I bought at Plyaway. Had a great time at Plyaway. Thank you so much everyone that came up and said hey. I got to meet Heather, who was super kind and wished you were there. That's the picture that I sent you in the Snyder booth. I got to see a bunch of people who watch the podcast, which is always so much fun. And shop with a bunch of people and enable wheel buying from Daedalus, which is fun. I did not buy a wheel from Daedalus, although I really love the Magpie.
How many wheels do you have from Daedalus?
4.
Mm-hmm.
No. I gifted one to Mom,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm down to 3 now.
From one specific vendor.
I have 3 shocks too.
I'm just saying.
No, I have more than 3 shocks. I have...
Because you have 2 ladybugs, you have a matchless, you have a
Sidekick.
Reeves, and a sidekick.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep. And Leslie's got a flat iron and
A matchless.
a matchless, because you sold your sidekick.
I did.
So yeah, all the spinning wheels, so much fun. And if anyone's ever in the Memphis area and wants to try a spinning wheel,
We've probably got that kind.
we will be happy to have you over, meet up at a coffee shop or something to do that. You have a new coffee shop near you, which makes me, I know, Leslie doesn't drink
Okay,
coffee.
that's great.
I saw it the other day when I was driving to DeSoto Central. I went down.
Oh, is
Get
it by
well.
that little sushi place, too?
I don't know the little sushi place.
It's Sushi Go or something. I don't think you can eat in there. I think it's a takeout.
I don't know
only.
where that is.
No.
It was before Saks. We got
Yeah.
like this whole new it's a development with shopping included.
Yeah.
And so there's lots of new choices for food, which is very exciting.
It's the new expensive place to live and or have a business.
Yep. So Plyaway was great. People in our Patreon got to see all the things that I bought on Thursday night. And people in Jillian's Patreon also got to see all the things that I bought. Which is fun. And I'm just going to start spinning. I'm spinning the Magically Delicious Superwash Targhee into a 3-ply. I'm hoping for a worsted weight 3-ply so that I can knit some tin can knits bonnets for some coworkers that are pregnant. Surprise! I have coworkers that are pregnant.
Yeah. Shocking.
Just two. But we're having a baby shower for them like on the 15th. So.
Because school ends here on the 20-something, 6th?
Yep.
Right before Memorial
Dash
Day.
Dash starts on the 27th.
Mm-hmm.
So Stash Dash this year, we are doing it in Discord again because that seemed to work really well last year. And it's accessible to everyone for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And there's already a chatter thread going on. So that's lots of fun. I haven't thought about goals or what I'm going to do. I would like to process a Cordale fleece that I have that I am going to comb.
That
and
might
get
be a
that
goal
spun.
that I can do for SSK is to like...
For Stash Dash?
For Stash Dash is to like process one. Because they're all washed. They just need to be like combed or carded.
Yeah.
So...
You can play with my combs too.
Yeah, if they can't be carded, I probably won't do them. Because I don't know that I want to comb a whole fleece, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It's kind of like that, how do you eat an elephant?
Yeah. I just don't enjoy combing as much as I do carding. I like seeing fleece become this airy, beautiful
Fluffiness.
Yeah, like fluffy pillow. It makes me happy.
Gotcha.
So let's see. Sorry, our show notes are over here. I gotta move them. So books. I've been listening to the Tales of Arania series. That's a male romance fantasy kind of series with wizards and dragons and stuff. It's very funny, so it's a very humorous series as well. I finished the 4th book and started the new book called The Damning Stone, and this is Prince Justin's book. And so his love interest is very opposite of him, which makes for good fiction. But he's very like frat bro, and
conflict is always good.
Yeah, and like I appreciate how T.J. Klune, who's the author, sometimes he beats you over the head with it, but he's very about inclusivity. And like the character is sort of a bear, like he's got a big sloping belly.
Aww.
And like piercings, and he's hairy, and
that might make me finish that series.
It's a very so far. I'm only like 5 hours into it, but it's a very interesting series. So I'm on the 5th one. It just came out this week, and I'm enjoying it so far. And I'm also I'm alternating it with Chronicles of the Warlands, which is a more serious, also sort of a fantasy-ish male-female romance. But it's more about like nomadic tribes and kingdoms and things. So it's a little more serious. It's not as lighthearted. But I enjoy it. What about you?
I have been not doing a ton of reading or even watching TV because I've been traveling so much. I did watch the NFL draft last night because one of my former students got drafted. So that was very exciting. I was very anxious about where he was going to end up. So he is going to play for the Philadelphia Eagles, and I'm super happy for him and his family.
Maybe you can see a game and hang out with Beck.
Yeah, I might see if they're playing Pittsburgh, or, I might
because her sister lives in Philadelphia.
Yeah, my sister lives within walking distance of the stadium, so that
it's like behind their. I remember.
Yeah.
Because you have to get past it to get on the interstate, I think.
Yep. So, I'm super happy for him and wish him all the best. He's a super smart, great guy. And I've been listening to the Alpha and Omega series by Patricia Briggs.
Did you and your mom listen to that Thursday Night Murder Club or whatever? Weren't you gonna listen to that?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
So she really enjoyed that. That's what we listened to on the way by Richard Osman. Mm-hmm. And I had already listened to it, so Buffy's got like stuff hanging from her.
It's like a little piece of fabric that's attached to her.
Like she's got a Santa beard.
Yeah. Come here, Boof. Come here, baby girl.
No? Nope. Okay. I am happy with my beard, Mama. So haven't done a ton. Got the the Stash Dash stuff up on Discord. Thank you to the person who reminded me that I needed to do that. And it's just been good, busy. It's the end of school, so everything's very busy, plus adding travel. I will be at Maryland Sheep and Wool on Saturday and Sunday. I'm taking a class on Sunday that I'm super excited about. So one of my goals for this year was to take at least 5 different classes. And it didn't matter whether it was spinning or knitting or
virtual or online.
I do want to get into like rubber stamp carving.
Virtual and online are the same thing.
They are.
Physical or virtual.
There we go. And so there is a class that I've wanted to take for years at Maryland, and it is Judith Mckenzie's Walkabout. So you walk through the sheep barns, and she just tells you her knowledge about these breeds of sheep, and then I guess it ends up.
Use the term walkabout? That's an Aboriginal term.
Oh, I don't know.
It's a walk through the sheep barns.
Okay, it's a walk through the sheep barn.
Unintentional,
sorry. So it is a walk through the sheep barns, and you just wander.
And you learn about breed.
Different breeds,
Yeah.
and then you end up in the fleece barn. And you look at fleeces with Judith Mckenzie.
I mean, to be fair, that's the second day of the fleece sale, right?
Yeah.
So not everything is there.
No. So the
but you've got, a brilliant person to tell you what's a good
Judith
fleece.
does the judging for fleeces, and she is amazing. She's incredible. One thing that I didn't mention about Flyaway, in addition to hanging out with lots of fun people, is I got to hang out with some of my mentors like Maggie Casey and Jillian Marino, and it was just great fun. And I got to see the Daedalus folk, which was also really, really nice. So lots of good people. Beth, who is teacher of the year in her district, I got to hang out with her, and Lois, who runs the classes at Maryland Sheep and Wool. So lots of good people.
That's cool.
But yeah, so I've wanted to take this class for forever, and it sells out within like 5 minutes, and I've never been able to get in. But this year I was like, I'm going to put myself on the wait list, and someone dropped out. And my friend Andrea is taking it too. So I get to go hang out with Andrea and 8 other people and learn about fleece and sheep and fun stuff. So I am super excited about that.
Yeah, it's going to be a good day.
Yeah. And then I get to hang out with Jane and Jessica as well, which is also...
If you are someone who hasn't met Laura or wants to meet Laura, you should stop her.
Yep.
And say hello. And
yep,
you'll
always
know
stop
who
me.
Jess is, because she'll be the person who leaves as soon as Jess loves, we love Jess, and Jess is a good friend, but Jess has no time.
She's got shopping to do. She has no time to stop and talk to people who view the podcast. Yeah. She does not care.
Yeah, she's not a TheKnitGirll's friend. She's just a Laura and Leslie friend, so... I find that hilarious and love that about her.
Yes.
So,
and I'll be hanging out with Jillian, so I won't be the most famous person there. It's definitely Jillian, so there'll be people who stop to talk to Jillian, and I'll probably wander off and do the exact same thing.
Yep. So yeah, Maryland is Laura's favorite festival.
It is my fave.
So,
and if you do see me, please stop and say hi.
Yeah.
Don't be a creeper. Come say hi.
I don't have anything else this week. I hope to have some more sewing next week, but no promises.
Leslie's going to be pearl sitting while I'm out of town.
Yeah, so...
From Friday morning till Sunday night.
Yep. Which will be nice for me. So,
You'll be like, or a hermit.
Oh my god. on our fail along with our patrons on Thursday night, we had finished our craft, I think, and
we did some gorgeous watercolor paint by number things that were tons of fun.
Yeah, and we were just talking about different breeds of sheep, and the topic of Jacob came up, and we knew, like, I knew because Laura had told me before that Jacob were used as like lawn ornaments essentially. And then she mentioned hermits, and I was like, I thought hermits were just like, it was a term for people who kept to themselves. But no, apparently...
You could hire hermits.
If you were a rich white person in the 1800s and you wanted your garden to be that super level of fancy, you could pay somebody to live in your garden to be seen as like a wise, reclusive person. And they were a hermit.
I don't think it was like a super popular practice.
No, I'm saying if you were a super rich, white person.
It was part of the more like natural garden movement at one point, which came about in contrast to the very like restrictive French garden movement.
But it's funny because you have to pay somebody, so how natural.
I remember in high school learning about this and thinking, man, I wish I could grow up to be a professional hermit.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
And obviously it stuck with me. But yeah. We talk about some interesting things on our Patreon.
We never know what's going to happen. We actually made it to a whole one with no politics.
That is true.
And I think that might be the first one. So yeah, if that entices you, come support us on Patreon.
We do really appreciate everyone who supports us on Patreon. And this Sunday, which is tomorrow, we do have our monthly
monthly knit night.
Knit night, which is always fun, and it will be from 1 until 3 p.m. Central. And then we're gonna go hang out with Rick from Whimsy Stitches.
Because he's driving through town.
Yep, because he had a show. Sorry, Neelix is crying. Like
at Bliss.
At Bliss, yeah. Which is a great yarn shop
about
in
3
Nashville.
hours.
Yep, 3.5.
So,
maybe.
Well, we hope you guys have an awesome week. And we will talk to you again next week, probably after Laura gets back from Maryland.
Yep.
Because
I get back at midnight Monday morning.
You leave on Thursday, or
I leave Friday morning at like 6 a.m.
All right, yeah. So it's just, and I have volunteering every Tuesday night, and then we have Wednesday night knit night, and so it's hard to fit things in.
We've become very social now that social in that we do a lot of stuff virtually.
Yeah, we've had obligations. So I don't know if social is the right word other than obligated, but so you guys have a great week. We'll talk to you again in a week. If you're going to Maryland, stop Laura and say hello, and otherwise we'll see you next week. Bye y'all.
Bye y'all.